Welcome to Built to Work, the podcast that gets its hands dirty, dives into the grit, and uncovers the heart of what makes the blue-collar world tick. I'm Colin, your host, and I'm sitting down with the people who keep our world running. From those tackling the tough jobs no one else dares to do, to the HR professionals working overtime to find the labor force we desperately need. Whether you're in the trenches or behind the scenes, this podcast is for anyone who values hard work, determination, and stories that build the backbone of our workforce. So grab your gloves, your coffee, or your clipboard. It's time to get to work. Welcome to another Built to Work podcast. I'm Colin Douthit, and today I am here with Dr. Richard Billo from the Missouri University of Science and Technology. Dr. Billo, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Colin.
So I am an alumni of Missouri S&T, formerly University of Missouri-Rolla, formerly Missouri School of Mines. So a lot of names. And I got introduced to what you guys are doing when I attended a Missouri Association of Manufacturing event down at Rolla for Manufacturing Day, which was an awesome event. And the school is launching something called the Protoplex. And I know that you have a very large role. You're the director of it. So tell us a little bit about what your role is at the school with the Protoplex, and tell everybody what the Protoplex is.
An S&T alumnus who provided us a gift of over $300 million and to return Missouri to manufacturing excellence. That was his vision. The building was built to be a state-of-the-art, high-bay advanced manufacturing research prototyping facility. So does not focus on fundamental research. It focuses on working with companies to develop products and prototypes of their next generation products. So there's really, we were charged with two related mission statements. One is bring Missouri to manufacturing excellence, make it competitive, bring companies back to the U.S., which actually aligns very well with the mandates of the new administration. And a related mission statement is provide a pipeline of well-trained and well-educated engineers and skilled technicians to be able to work in these companies. And we do this really by taking advantage of emerging advanced manufacturing technologies. We feel that is the way to compete. Mm-hmm. So that was really what we were charged to do with the facility.
Okay, that's awesome. And how big is the facility? Is it complete now, or is it still under construction?
Still under construction. We'll start moving equipment in around this coming November, and that should be complete by February. We'll have an opening ceremony probably a month or two after that. But we've been very active anyway. Since I came here 3 years ago, we immediately started building the contracts and the grants that would be carried out in the center, and started buying equipment to start doing that work now. And we put that equipment any place that we can find a place.
Yeah.
Not efficient, but we have been successful in garnering over $23 million in active contracts right now. We've got about 10 full-time staff on board.
Okay.
That really, with those kinds of contracts, you really need a high-performing staff. So the engineers do all of the work in the facility, and then we have project managers that really keep all of the data collection, all the reporting in place for us. Keep that up. Let the project managers focus on getting the engineering work done.
Okay, that is cool. It's amazing that you guys have got so much funding, from alumni. You've gotten so many, the grants and the equipment, and I'm sure you guys have a lot more equipment that you're going to be getting. And I have so many questions about it. the first one is, when I remember hearing you guys speak about this before, you were really almost opening up like a new kind of, I want to say, emphasis or degree line within engineering that Rolla was offering. Can you tell me about that?
Sure, it's an emphasis has been there. It's part of mechanical engineering. It's called the manufacturing processes emphasis, and it had really kind of faltered during the pandemic.
Okay.
And we were awarded with two community colleges a $9.2 million grant from the state through the Mo Excels program. And each of us then took a different tact on how we would use that for manufacturing.
Hmm.
Ours was to revitalize that manufacturing emphasis. So we created or modernized 7 courses in that curriculum, threw out all the old ones and brought in new ones. And the ones that were still relevant, we modernized them and created 4 new hands-on teaching laboratories in support of those courses. And these were aligned very much with what the manufacturers of the state had asked for. We had brought them together previously, an advisory board of about 25 to 30 of them, and ran a workshop and asked them, what critical skills do you need that you're not getting from us? And we did that in a very organized fashion, had the Barnes Global Advisors come in and facilitate that workshop. And so we knew what needed to be taught.
Hmm.
And we brought that to our manufacturing committee and made the decision that if we won Mo Excels, that we would incorporate these critical skills into the curriculum. And we did. We piloted with 1 new course in additive manufacturing in the fall and 6 courses this spring
Wow.
went into place. And the students absolutely are thrilled, absolutely thrilled, because the equipment that we got was also designated by the companies, not the faculty. The company said, this is what the students need to use, learn on, because these are the machines that we use in our companies.
Hmm.
That also helped with our contracts in that now we have the machines. When the companies are developing new products, they don't need to stop production to test those products. They just come and use our machines, which are available on an hourly basis for renting.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
and you were talking about the contracts a little earlier. So the
Mhm.
machines that you guys have procured, you will rent them out to a company if they're trying to prototype something that only these machines can do. Is that what I understand?
Yes, and that fits well with our motto of the Show Me State. These are emerging advanced manufacturing technologies, and they're obviously uh, they're not sure how to use them, and they don't believe that it's as easy to use as vendors of these machines tell them they are, and they're not.
Hmm.
There's a lot of engineering goes into them, so they work with us on these machines, and together we engineer their products with them, not for them, but with them. And at the end of that, they make the decision that, hey, this can really help my company, or no, this is not worth it for my company. But
Hmm.
they don't have to make a commitment to the capital investment early on,
Okay.
only when they're sure that it's going to make a difference to
Yeah.
the productivity.
Okay, so they get to kind of test run it out at
Mhm.
Rolla's facility, at S&T's facility instead. Okay. Oh, that
Right.
makes total sense. That's a great program that you guys have. Plus, it generates a little bit more money for the university, so always good.
And for companies too. For example, we're working now with SRC Remanufacturing out of
Yeah.
Springfield, and they're remanufacturing large automotive engines, truck engines, and they have to throw away millions of dollars in cracked parts. And they said, "Do you think that some of the things that you're working with might be able to help us repair those cracks?" And I said, we could try. And so they brought a truckload of those parts up, and we're now looking at our technologies to see if we can repair those cracks. And there again, we invested in technology then to be able to see inside those parts deep
Yeah.
inside them to see if the cracks truly are repaired.
Okay.
So there again, it's the machines are being driven by the need, not by the desires of the internal faculty.
Okay. That's so cool. So you've used the term, and this one was a new to me. Basically, the first time that I came down to the manufacturing day was advanced manufacturing techniques. And when I
Mm.
think manufacturing, I'm thinking maybe an assembly line, pouring molten metal, maybe some lathe and CNC work, maybe some, doing something with plastics, injection molding, blow molding. What are advanced manufacturing techniques that are just now coming out that you're working on the
Sure,
cutting edge of?
sure. These are new. I had never heard of these technologies 3 years ago. And it was really through the companies like Lockheed and Boeing and Caterpillar that informed us of them. And I remember my reaction, every one of them is, well, what's that? They would tell you, and they look at me like, well, you really need to know this. You really need to educate the students. But things like laser micro welding, friction stir additive manufacturing, robotic cold spray additive manufacturing, laser powder bed fusion, wire arc directed energy deposition. I'll bet you've never heard of most of those phrases.
I haven't, and maybe I could discern what one or two of those actually do, but some of
Mm,
them just right over the head. That.
right,
Yeah, never heard any of
right,
that.
right. And, but some of these technologies, what we're learning is, and we're learning it by working with the companies, are far superior to the way we're doing things now. For example, we're working with Sikorsky Helicopter out of Connecticut, and they were concerned that it was taking them up to 2 years to get forged parts from their suppliers. And they hired a couple of PhDs out of, students, graduates out of the University of Alabama, and why aren't you doing friction stir? And they go, what's that? And so they bought a machine, and what they learned was they could fully manufacture these parts in about 2 weeks, not 2 years. And the mechanical properties were far superior than those of forged parts. And so we're working with them now to to compare the different brands of these machines and to let them know which ones are providing the most superior properties
That's
for a part. It's things like that I didn't know,
yeah.
and Orthy didn't know 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's so if companies like that don't know, then so many people, companies that you would say are on the cutting edge or very well versed in manufacturing. So just for my own knowledge, what is friction
Mhm.
stir?
Well, friction stir is actually it's using friction. It's taking a metal rod and it's rubbing it against a base plate and spinning very, very fast, and it heats up and it begins to melt the metal at the base,
Hmm.
and then it pops up, moves in the X direction, and does the same thing. Then it moves in the Z direction up a little bit and does the same thing again, and melts that metal to just not completely melts it, but where it's soft, and
Hmm.
leaves it one level at a time. And that friction really causes that metal to bond very, very well, better than forgings,
Hmm.
as what's learned. Then it's machined to near net shape, to its
Okay.
final shape,
Okay.
because it looks pretty sloppy. And you never think, wow, that mess is going to be a part. But they machine it then to its final shape.
Okay.
And uh, that machining and then heating it to relieve stress in it, et cetera, can all be done for a large part in about 2 weeks.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you really cut down the manufacturing time. I mean, you're gonna have more material costs, but no,
Right,
everything. But I mean, being able
right.
to manufacture that quickly, it also allows multiple iterations to happen and develop and refine processes as well, right?
Right.
Oh, this part's not exactly right. Let's rebuild another one instead of having to wait for
Mm,
a year to reforge it. You can have another one in a couple
right.
weeks.
Right. And we just had one of those machines installed here on campus this week.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So one thing that I really love is, so first off, as an alumni, I love that you guys are doing this advanced stuff. Even though I wasn't in mechanical engineering, I'm now in the more in the manufacturing and the industrial space. I'm actually a civil and architectural engineer by training, and still love it. But this stuff that you guys are working on is really cool. But I love that we're trying to focus on bringing it back to Missouri. And I live in Missouri now. I was born in Kansas, but live in Missouri now. Went to school in Missouri. And so I love seeing that. So what's the long-term vision for Missouri? I know, being involved with the Missouri Association of Manufacturing, they're kind of supporting what you guys are doing. You guys are both supporting each other, basically. What's the goal for Missouri in this whole program?
Well, you want to look at what Missouri is, and we looked at this. The number one industry sector in the state is aerospace. Number two is manufacturing, and those
Okay.
two are quite related. Our objective is to increase the manufacturing base in Missouri and to provide that talented pipeline. So we do work closely with community colleges. For example, St. Charles Community Colleges, through our MOOC Cells program that we have with them, is looking at implementing a new metallurgy program for castings and forgings
Okay.
for the skilled trades. And they're really smart. They've got it set up three ways. If you're in high school and want to go straight to work, come here and get a certificate, 6 months, and you can be ready to go to work in a foundry. Or you can be a technician, get a degree, 2 years. Or if you want to go on into engineering at S&T, let's see, no, it was the AA degree was 1 year, and the AAS degree was 2 years if you want to be an engineer.
Okay.
So they really are hitting the market very well where people may want to be with the amount of education and what their objectives are.
Hmm.
But it really is a couple of objectives. Yes, we want to increase the manufacturing base for the state. And honestly, we just had a company commit to move here from Massachusetts to start up operations, manufacturing in Rolla, Missouri, because of the Protoplex. They're going to start in the Protoplex, and what their plans are within 2 years to build their own manufacturing facility in the Rolla area.
Can
And
you
there's a
can you
second,
disclose who that company is?
yes, you met the CEO last at Manufacturing Day, Aaron Burt of Solvus Global,
That's right.
and
Yes.
they are coming back in early April to sign a lease in Protoplex and also to interview our May graduates as their
Okay.
first employees. They're committed to hiring our graduates because guess what? Because of the new curriculum, we're spot on teaching what's needed, and they can't find these folks in Massachusetts.
Hmm.
Nobody has these capabilities in the United States, this
Hmm.
comprehensive set of capabilities. Nobody. And nobody's teaching them at this level, this comprehensive level. So they're going to be back in May. There's a second company that we are just initiating discussions with, VRC Metals, out of South Dakota. It's very
Okay.
interested in the same thing, moving in the Protoplex, that have a presence in Missouri for manufacturing.
Okay.
So it's a win-win-win for everybody. It's a win for Missouri. It's a win for our graduating students.
Hmm.
It's a win for the companies that are moving here.
Yeah. That's
And we have the seventh lowest labor rate in the United States, which is very appealing because Massachusetts is the third highest in the United States.
yes.
So it's and when you're manufacturing, obviously you want to keep things as low cost as possible.
Yes. Yeah,
So
definitely with that.
it's those kinds of things. And so we're very pleased starting to fulfill that mission, getting companies seriously looking at moving here.
Mhm. That's great. And I love so much of this is, having gone through Rolla and being civil, like there was a lot of hands-on stuff, right? We touched concrete, we touched asphalt, right? We did all sorts of tests. Mechanical engineering does a lot of those hands-on labs as well. But one thing I really like about it is, partnering with the community colleges and focusing on, hey, it's not all just about the engineer and the 4-year degree, right? It's that
Right.
1-year degree, it's the techs, it's and even down to the unskilled, right? It's the whole gambit of people is needed for this manufacturing industry to be successful. And so I love that there's a holistic look at the whole thing and not just at the 4-year degree, which I think is something that's a little, I'm gonna say
Mhm.
revolutionary, but outside the box thinking for an institution like Rolla to say, hey, let's partner with these community colleges and let's work on the different steps that are going to be needed for success within the manufacturing industry.
We were, we felt the same way as you is like, hey, let's just work with them. The need is there for skilled technicians. But we were surprised, and we worked very closely with the Department of Defense, and we were informed by them, why does the DoD want so badly to work with us? Well, it's not only the technology, but they said it's because you've teamed with community colleges.
Hmm.
And I go, yeah, well, why is that such a big deal? They go, you don't realize that you're only one of two universities in the United States willing to have that kind of partnership with community colleges? The others
Really?
being the University of Texas, El Paso. We were very surprised.
Wow.
But we work with three of them now, and we have joint funding with three of them that S&T helped get for them, and we're trying to get funding for the fourth one, which is the St. Louis Community College
Okay.
system. So we're still working on that, but the other three we've gotten funded. It's like St. Charles starting the metallurgy program. East Central College is moving to Rolla and had just bought a building here. That's how they're using their state funding,
Okay.
is setting up a new campus here in Rolla, and with those funds, setting up a center for advanced manufacturing, to be able to
Wow.
teach the skilled trades. We're working with Ozarks Tech mainly on the remanufacturing because St. Springfield is we didn't know this, the remanufacturing capital of the United States. There are more remanufacturers in Springfield than any place else in the country. And so we're looking at casting repair workshops. And we're offering one in June, early June, and June the
Okay.
5th, for companies that would be interested in how to repair cast products.
Awesome. I knew that SRC was down there in Springfield, obviously, but I didn't realize there was other ones. And I thought it was really cool learning about SRC. I read the book that Jack Stack wrote, the Great Game of Business, which has been definitely influential in my life. But then to see, coming full circle, and now you guys are working with them, and I didn't realize that Springfield was such a hub for remanufacturing.
But we're really, the industrial support has been great. I mean, we're required with the grant that we did get uh, to offer these workshops, and so Caterpillar is on that grant with us,
Mhm.
and we are prototyping with the parts, and we're using the SRC parts that they gave us as part of that workshop, so that it's real, so they
Okay.
can. And the knowledge, really, it's Caterpillar's engineers that are teaching us, how to do these repairs as part of this grant. So, and what blew me away was uh, everybody involved in this $5 million grant: Lockheed Sikorsky, Caterpillar, uh, Missouri Association of Manufacturers, Ozarks Tech, S&T. They all signed an agreement that what we learn will be placed in the public domain. No
Oh,
one is
wow.
gonna no one is gonna claim ownership. That the need for the skilled, uh, you know, for the knowledge, the skilled people that will get these skills is greater than any proprietary business and need that they may have.
I love hearing
I'd
that.
never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
That's great. That's so, with the current
Mm.
administration too, pushing to bring so much stuff back, from abroad. I mean, this is the perfect time to have that sort of an agreement where everything will be shared and reinvesting in these technologies so that we can, you know, bring some of this manufacturing back to the States. So that's really
Well,
great.
I have to tell you, a lot of this effort, this coming together has been through the alumni of S&T. It
Really.
really has been. Yeah, it's the people we work with CAT. They're our alumni. They're the
Hmm.
champions. It's a Boeing. They're the champions. They're all alumni. Boeing has 3 engineers that live in Rolla. CAT has moved 1 engineer, and they're bringing a second one in this summer. And as you know, we've got 2 other companies
Yeah.
moving here, and we got actually a startup that has approached us about moving in this summer.
Wow.
Just a brand new startup.
So then you guys are making a lot of stuff happen there. You guys are going to change that town even more.
Well, yes, that's the idea. It's the town, the state, the country. That's
Yes.
the idea.
Yeah, that's great. You know, one thing that kind of stuck out to me and has made me a little bit, I would say much more passionate about what we do on our end is one of the statistics I heard, and you may have brought it up in your presentation during the manufacturing day, was this the shortage of labor in the manufacturing sector. Do you have any of those stats handy on the top of your head? Because I
Sure
remember
do.
them really,
Sure do.
really sticking out to me.
Yeah, this really caught our attention. In the United States, in manufacturing, there are only 55 available workers for every 100 jobs. Missouri, it's much more severe. There are only 47 available workers for every 100 jobs. And so we saw the need for a pipeline to be established. So part of it is where we know we're working with the skilled trades, and now we revamped the curriculum for the engineers. But we work with Mrs. Courtney Jones, and through our STEM center. Courtney has a passion for students in the rural counties. She was a high school principal in Arkansas. And Courtney, working with her, we bought her equipment. Courtney reaches out to over 12,000 K through 12 students each year now and provides them a manufacturing students, beginning with young people as at age 9.
Wow.
And through middle school, through high school, we're offering high school summer jobs in the Protoplex this year. She provides a summer internship for 350 teachers, high school teachers, each year. And Society of Manufacturing Engineers said, listen, if you teachers, any of you, will go back to your high school and implement what you learned, we will provide up to $400,000 in funding for equipment for you.
Well,
And so it's that kind of effort. And so with our grants, we were able to buy Courtney educational manufacturing equipment,
mhm.
little mini lathes, mills, robots, laser cutting systems, whatever it may be, so that they have those hands-on experiences. She runs 8 manufacturing summer camps. She runs 30 summer camps overall, but 8 of them are specifically for manufacturing for K through 12 students. That's to create the interest. And part of this was because what's happened, really due to the drop in the mining industry, is massive unemployment. We've got over 25 counties with a large proportion of the population living below the poverty line. And I guess what woke me up about this was 3 years ago at the governor's economic development conference, there was a panel of school administrators from the rural counties. And they opened up their talk with a statement that went to the effect of, are you aware that in our counties, our students, most don't want to go to college. Most don't want to go to community college or trade school. And they don't want to go in the military. And they kind of left it open what they do.
Mhm.
They didn't say, well, it wasn't hard to figure out. It's a lot of our counties are the young people are involved in drugs,
Yeah.
the addiction, and turning to homelessness. And I went back to my hometown and in West Virginia, and I'd been there many years, and I was shocked. Number one in the country for fentanyl addiction per capita.
Yeah.
My town had reduced from a population of 70,000 to a population of about 14,000.
Whoa.
And people lying on the streets, needles on the streets. And you don't want to walk downtown in the night. That's what's going to happen if we don't show young people an alternative.
Mm-hmm.
And so Courtney is dedicated to show them that there are opportunities in STEM and especially in manufacturing in the state of Missouri.
Yeah. Well, you need to put me in touch with Courtney because I would love to get her in our schools locally where I am. I'm in a small town, about 5,500, 6,000 people, and luckily, our county seat has a technical college, so we do have some outlets for people that don't want to do, go to the traditional 4 year of the military, so they can go up there and learn, become like a nurse assistant or diesel mechanic, that sort of stuff. But I would love to be put in touch with her because I think there's definitely a need for that, just for them to see options. Because I'm involved with the youth in our community through our church, and a number of them do go to college, but a lot of them too are like, I don't know, maybe I'll just go, work construction, right? They don't know all the different options that are out there. So
Right.
this is why I wanted to have you on today, because of everything that you guys are involved in doing, and I am passionate about it for Missouri, and so I think it's great. So I want to commend the whole organization that's around it because I think you guys are doing some great work. So thank you
And
for that.
thank you, Colin. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
as alumni, it really makes me proud too. So.
Well, I'm very proud. We've got, Colin, we've got over 60,000 S&T alumni. We're still working out there all
Mhm.
over the country.
That's quite a few. That's quite a few. So, for being a smaller school, I'll say, S&T definitely has an impact. And that's
Thank you.
that's
Thank
one
you.
thing that I remember the first time I walked into a career fair there and just seeing all of the huge companies like the Cats and John Deere's and the big engineering firms, the big construction companies that are there trying to recruit from Rolla and seeing, like a Raytheon and the Department of Defense companies and everything. You're just like, whoa, like there was a lot of really, really cool, really important companies here. So there's something right's going on there.
Well, it must be because we still consistently rank every year in the top 10 highest wages
Yeah.
that our graduates obtain. Uh, so we're very proud of that, and I'm sure they really enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I need to figure that one out. My first job wasn't the most high paying, but we figured it out down the road. So, um, well, Dr. Billo, thank you so much for your time. I'll let you have the rest of your day. Thank you for sharing everything that S&T is doing. You guys are doing some great work. We really appreciate it. The state appreciates it. So keep it up.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you for having me today. Appreciate it.